Siddique, interoperability is a big problem. And even as we migrate everything to cloud, even as we talk about IoT, and we talk about AI, I mean, all these things are coming in different protocols. Some of them are coming in with different, security kind of techniques again. Now, looking at your ERP solution, how interoperable is it? And again, are you natively implementing as a legacy system where you do everything on-prem? Or how much of cloud are you consuming? And also, in terms of business, how are you doing business-wise? How are the people using the software?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. When we started in 2008, as I said, we were using the legacy platform. That's the time we were looking for business. So we were developing on C# or Microsoft technologies, Windows-based applications and all that. When as we moved on, we realized that cloud is taking the lead. If you are not on a cloud platform, if people cannot access their systems on a mobile framework, then there's a problem. We were losing our business. So we partnered with a company called Angani Limited, who we work with them very closely. So they gave us a platform where we could host our ERP system. So there are a lot of tools and services that had to be integrated with our core system. Like we adapted the Nextcloud software. We also have synchronization tools to auto-synchronize whatever updates are being done by our software, by our developers, and they get synchronized with the client's environment. So we also gone into web application development. We're also doing mobile application development and stuff like that, so that it's the system's productivity, the performance of the software is quite robust. There is no too much of maintenance, and right now almost 50% of our clients have adopted the cloud platform. We are hosting all of them on the cloud framework. The only issues we have, the challenges we still have, is sometimes the downtimes on the internet. So what we are working right now is on synchronization and database mirroring and stuff like that, so that in the event when the servers are down, so there is redundancies maintained. So from that perspective, I think most of our clients are very happy with the cloud way. It has given a lot of advantage to the IT managers. They now they don't need to maintain infrastructure. There's no need to even upgrade on servers, networking, everything. All they're just investing is on internet. So cloud has really added value, and it has also reduced the cost of maintaining software, because as a software company, we have access to their servers, obviously. So we can easily update, we can easily download, we can easily cross-check the problems. Before, what used to happen is we had to contact the clients, ask them for the server credentials, or there was physical, going to the site, managing it. Right now, we only have in a week's time or in 2 weeks' time, if you're doing a small project, we don't even need to see the client, everything is happening online. So we are also moving into software as a service business model, where whatever we have done all this time, the ERP we have developed over the years, right now we have a standard platform that we have built, which we are going to sell it as a service. Because as I said in my talk, that a lot of companies out there don't have money to invest on servers, for example. I'm talking about the SME market, the small companies, 5 users, 4 users. So what do they use? They just want to go online, register their company and start using the system. They don't even want to invest on servers. So yes, cloud is really progressing well.
My name is Soita. I'm a lecturer at the University of Nairobi. My area of interest actually is operations management and supply chain management. Now, when you talk of ERP, it comes in handy now. That is where I'm mostly interested. Now, the first question I want to ask you is about the cost. Now that you are competing with giant companies like SAP and Oracle, and it's good you are coming into Kenya. ERP market in Kenya is over 10 years old now. Major companies which have gone the ERP way include companies like Tata Group. We have KPA, we have Safaricom, which is using Oracle, and several other government ministries including the Minister of Energy. Now, the first question I want to ask you is about the cost advantage your company has, because what we have seen before, for a medium-sized company which has several branches, if you want to implement an ERP, you need almost 300 million shillings to do this. Now, that is the first question. Second question is, you are using a modular approach, modular design, where ERP is normally run in modules. Like you have sales and distribution, you have finance module, you have human capital management module. Now, I have seen a new module like ISO. For example, you mentioned about ISO. Does it mean that your service is a bit better off, is more for a wider scope? A good example is when SAP came in, for instance, we used to have things like customer relationship management. There are some companies which are running without customer relationship management. Some are running without supplier relationship management. Some are introducing what we call advanced planning and optimizer. That is for production planning. Now, the third question is about what we call the software distribution. Are you going to allow open source? Is it going to run as open source? And then the last question is about cloud-based, which you have just been mentioning. I've been reading the news in the recent past that SAP has started reducing the head count. They're trying to sack some people, SAP as a company in the world, including Oracle. And possibly one of the reasons is because they are migrating to the cloud. They have not been operating using cloud. So can you clarify this? Thank you.
Your first question regarding the the cost implementation, the cost implication on rolling out a system. Let me explain to you. You are very right in saying that 300 million shilling is what one would spend for a standard ERP system like SAP Business One or Oracle. You are going to spend 300 million shillings. That's very true. But our objective of getting in the market of ERP is not to replicate what SAP is doing. You see, we have an accounting system which is the backbone of any system, and then we build other modules on top of them. The cost of our ERP system, the amount of money you would spend for a 20-user license, for example. You have a company, because that's your question, how much is your ERP costing? What are you going to charge? So if we are not, our target audience is not Kenya Post Authority or KPLC or Kenya Power. We understand that those are very huge companies, and we are not in a position where we can sell our ERP to them at the moment. Not that we cannot do software development or customizations for them, we can do that. But we do understand that they are very huge companies and they need to. But we are on the verge of growth. We are actually scaling up our system as a Kenyan company. So the likes of our clients is like maybe a transport company which is operating on 60 user licenses or to 70 user licenses, interconnecting the inventory management, the workshop management, the financial management, the billing system. And we also have production clients who are doing production and manufacturing, where they are on 15 to 20 user licenses. Those customers have not invested more than $30,000. The clients that we have even got the best deal we have signed up was for $100,000, which is just 10 million shillings. And the reason why it is affordable is because we are local. We are local. We have local developers. We have outsourced. We started outsourcing some of the extended services or high-end services to India, and we have set up a team over there also who are also developing our solutions. But considering our cost and considering that we want to tap in the market, we are not charging so high. We are quite affordable, basically. Someone came to my stand and he asked me, how much do you charge for a workshop software? I have a cousin of mine who is running a workshop, and he needs a system to manage his tires, he needs to manage his entire garage and workshop, which has to be integrated with his full accounts. I asked him, how many branches do you have? He said 2 branches. I said, okay, fine, let's look at the number of licenses that you need. We have a modular approach, as you said, your second question, we have a modular approach. So I just, explained to him what modules he would require, and he was very happy to listen to all those modules that he would require. A workshop would not require, a projection module or, necessarily a CRM system. So what is fit for him, we offer him that solution. Obviously integrating the core financials. So when I gave him the price, he was saying, how come you guys are so cheap? That's the second question he asked me. I said, we are cheap because we want to promote our product in the market. But we are not going to compromise on professional services and advisory services and consultancy services. So we do have a module price, okay? Maybe we might charge a module price, maybe $10,000 per module for 5 users. But you have to pay, because what encompasses the cost of an ERP system is the module cost is there, and then the implementation fee is there. That's the professional service that you have to pay to the consultants who come and actually implement the system. They will customize the solution for you, they will train you, they will do the business process mapping, and they will do the installations and the process re-engineering and stuff like that. So maybe if they will charge you on the basis of the number of main days that will require to implement the system at site. And then obviously there's an annual maintenance contract. Your third question regarding are we going in the open source thing? Not yet decided at the moment. We know we are actually a company which is commercial company, so whatever we sell, we have open source software which is available in the market, like Odoo is there, which is an open source platform for programmers to customize and develop. A number of companies have invested in open source ERP systems, but then it becomes a problem to basically customize. Now, why we are doing everything in-house and we are developing ourselves is because of quality assurance, to make sure that the brand mass track is maintained. So version control is very important for us. What we sell to customer A and customer B, it has to be different, because some of the customers, they would require, some of the customers, they might require something that is tailored to their needs, and they want that software to only stay for them. So we even charge them a premium fee, because business processes, sometimes they can also be patented, such that what works for me should not work for another customer. We are in the world of competition, and we do accept those kind of jobs as well sometimes, but we charge a premium for that.
I have like 3 questions. One is, what is the size of your development team compared to the clients that you serve? That's one question. Second question is, what other technologies do you use besides C#.NET and any other, besides the Microsoft technologies, what other frameworks do you use to develop your applications? And then you mentioned that you outsource your development work to India. Have you thought about using local developers in Nairobi or within East Africa to actually service your huge client base? And then the other question is, do you have any other offices outside of Nairobi, say Kigali, Kampala, or Cape Town? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Your first question was regarding the technical team. We have around 4 software developers in our team. We have 25 corporate clients. The software development started by myself, and we started adding the developers in our team. Remember one thing, that the team doesn't require only software developers. The team also requires system analysts. We also require back-end developers. We require guys who can analyze and design a process. We also require report developers. So it's a team that involves business system analysts, trainers, developers, and also the directors are also involved obviously in the project. Your second question was regarding why have we, what technologies we are using besides C# and .NET. We are also using Android technology, Java. .NET is our main framework, MySQL, SQL Server. So those are the technologies we are evolving around at the moment. Regarding whether we are also based outside Kenya, we have clients who are in Zambia, we have clients in Uganda and Middle East. Apart from that, most of our clients are in Kenya. And as far as our software developers are concerned, why have we moved them to Kenya? Don't we have local software expertise here? Yes, we have local software expertise, but between 2009, when we started our company, 2008, 2009 to 2012, there was a big gap. We had got only 2 developers. And within those 2 developers, we had actually developed the application so much, and it was so big that to get the local developers to continue building on that framework was very difficult. So we had to get experienced guys with more than 10 to 15 years of experience there's a programmer and there's a guy who has the ability to continue coding on an existing code that was already been written. Okay, that code could have been defunct, it could have some problems, it might not have been well structured and all that. So there was an ongoing support required for existing customer because customer cannot wait. So we needed to migrate to the new framework or the new platform, or rather have existing new developers to continue developing, and hand in hand the support should also continue. So there was a quick resolution that was required. So what I did as a CEO was I went to India and we partnered with a development firm, and we have dedicated developers working only for us over there. So the hardcore development is going on. But what we have done, we have structured our application in such a way that the local developers would still develop software, but through an API integration. So if you have small modules that we can develop, but the core architecture sits in India. I hope I've answered your question. Thank you.
All right, any other question? Okay. Just him, one. Final one, hope. Any questions on machine learning? Okay.
I hope it's one question. It's question 1A, 1B, 1C. Typical lecturer, karibu sana.
Yeah, what I want to ask, I'm coming from the academia, and what we have learned so far is that most of the students we are training, the undergraduates doing supply chain and operations, they need a lot of training in this area of ERP. What we teach in class mostly may not help them much. They need certification after graduation. And what we have seen, there's a lot of laxity among the ERP providers in Kenya here. There are very few consultants. Most of them are from India and other places. So what are you doing in order to ensure that at least you fill this gap?
That's a very good question, but I'm more than willing to share my knowledge with your students. Supply chain and logistics is my area of specialization as far as ERP is concerned. It's one of the verticals we serve. And let me just give you a brief example. In order for you to learn supply chain and logistics in real time, as an with respect to ERP, you need to sit and work with the players involved in that industry. My brother is a logistics expert. My father has been a transporter. When I implemented the project for a very huge transport logistics company, I was at the port even at midnight to see how vessel is offloaded, how cargo is coming into our country, what are the documents involved, what does a bill of lading look like, what are the KPA documents, how is the cargo delivered, how is costing done, because the supply chain involves right from the production all the way to the delivery to the final customer. So in order for you to be able to provide a solution to your customer, to be able to understand practically how it all works, that's why I said in my talk also that you cannot just start dealing in ERPs because it is something that is going to make you money. You also say that a lot of companies are there and very few people are there who know about ERP, but they are from India. I have worked with Indians. I have even, I was one of the team players when I was working with them, and I know that, they are gifted with technology and they are very fast. But we are also equally good, I can say that, as Kenyans, and we should not feel that we are below them. I've even given competition to them personally. So we need to go out there, study and learn. My message to the developers is don't only learn about programming. Don't only learn about how a code is written. Don't only learn about how C# code is written. Don't stay as a programmer. Go ahead and learn how the world operates, how things work, IoT, virtual reality, artificial intelligence. All these are technologies that are coming on. But you don't only learn about AI. You have to also learn about how it integrates in the real world. So because I'm in the ERP sector, I don't get more involved in AI, but I have to know, because if AI has a relationship to ERP, and ERP has a relationship with cloud, and we are all revolving around that emerging technologies, and if we don't upgrade our skills, we are going to be beaten. So we need to diversify, we need to learn. So as far as the students are concerned, all right, we can meet and discuss, and we can see how they can come, and we can even provide them some classes and show them how supply chain operates. We have just right now, two projects. One is for the transport sector, and one is for a complete supply chain management solution software, which will integrate ERP integration with the financial module. So we have a clearing and forwarding component. We have a vessel operation module, and the cargo that the customer is loading it's coming all the way from, they're doing DHL clearance, and they have a complete export of cargo all the way to Ethiopia and upcountry and West Africa. So our software has to be incorporated in all that. So how are the charges calculated? How are the damages calculated? What is free period? What is KPA free days? All those terminologies is incorporated in our software, and we had to build all those components to make sure that we give a complete solution to the client. I hope I've answered your question.
And finally, to present the award to Mr. Siddique is Zinet Nyambura. And it's Zinet or Zinet? Zinet, okay. Zinet Nyambura is from Nurse in Hand Emergency Response. Siddique.